Hi everybody. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. I want to welcome you to a little video here that I'm making, and the first, I'm sure, of many that we'll be looking at over the next couple of weeks with the new situation and the adjustment that we're all making. It's touching everybody's life in one way or another. But I want to make this video just to introduce us to the new normal, if you like, for us as a church. Life is always adjusting. I think part of life means constant adjustment and getting used to adjustment and making good adjustments and adapting well to adjustments. And one of them for us as a church is to go virtual, is to go digital and make use of the technology that we have at our fingertips and available to us. Many churches around the country are going this way, digital, using Facebook Live, using online platforms for having group meetings like Google Meet or Google Classroom in some cases, or Zoom and other things. So it means an adjustment for us, and we'll be going digital, we'll be going virtual over the next couple of weeks. I want to introduce that to you for our church family, and to introduce some of the plans for us going forward for the time being. I wonder what adjustments you're having to make. I wonder what needs you have as a result of this new situation. I know, talking to many of you, and even in our own situation, our own family, homeschooling has become a new thing for you. Maybe you've never homeschooled before, like us, and some of you, maybe like us, never thought you would be homeschooling, and here we are, finding ourselves in this new, unusual situation. Maybe that's very difficult and very trying for you. Maybe you've been let go of your work. I know some of you have had changes in your job. There's less work available, or there is a temporary hold on your work until your employment comes back into operation. Others have perhaps been just let go of their job. And that's hard, and that's a big adjustment. Also, just being cocooned, just being in your own house for so long and sort of isolated from community is very difficult. It's initially maybe a nice break, but when you're stripped of community that you normally have, and certainly when you're stripped of fellowship, we realize then how much we really need each other. And I think for us all, we ought to realize, if you haven't already, how important it is that we actually have fellowship with one another. It's so important. I know I'm talking to many of you on the phone, and that's great. Some of you I'm seeing in person, but it's different when we can't get together. It's different when we're not singing together and we're not praying together in each other's company, and we're not listening to the word together, not worshiping and having fellowship. Or even out in our homes, having groups over for dinner, in small groups in your homes. It's very different scenario, and so the lack of community in person, physical community, is very different, and it's a big adjustment. This is showing us how much we need each other. Also, some of the other needs I think that we're facing is in our mind. There's so much news out there. Much of it is negative, much of it is inaccurate, but even the accurate information is not all positive information either. So the question really is, how is your mind doing? What are the things you're thinking about with all of the information that you're hearing? I think that's a real need that we need to address. And also our heart. Our fear is spreading faster than the virus itself all around the world. And fear of either physically contracting COVID-19 yourself, or those that you know who are vulnerable, whether young or old, with underlying conditions, fear that they might get it, or feeling alone and feeling very fearful that you're feeling alone. I wonder, how is your heart doing? How is your heart responding to all of these needs that are surfacing now in your life? Well, the needs we face require a response. They require action. And so what we really need as Christians is a Christian response to the needs that we're facing. We need truth, we need faith, we need community, we need perseverance, and we need grace. And the list honestly could go on. We need joy, we need peace, we need all these things. Thankfully, we believe in a God who not only provides these things to us as products, he provides them to us in his very own presence. In his very own presence. He's with us right now as we have all of these needs. We've had all these needs all along. And he has provided for those needs. Maybe we haven't seen them as clearly as maybe we do now. But we need all of these things. However we do that, we can be creative. But we certainly need to be in the Word. We need to be praying. We need to be communicating with each other. So what I would suggest, and some of the plan that I'm going to put forward is, I'm going to, as you've noticed already, more epistles from me in the last week than in the last couple of months put together. So I'm going to keep sending out epistles with resources for you, articles for you, scripture for you to meditate on, videos, video links, things like that, all sorts of helpful things for you. Also, we're going to do some Facebook live streaming for our Sunday morning worship time. We're going to have, at about 11 o'clock, we're going to have Facebook Live. I'm going to try it. I'm not a great techie, but I'm going to give it a shot. So we would need to tune in together at 11 o'clock. I'll give a short message. And the nice thing about it is we can be tuned in at the same time. And I believe you can send in little messages and we can be there together virtually in community. Second best thing, but the best that we can do at the moment. So we're going to do that. I'll send out more information on that. I'll send out a link. I'll send out a reminder as well. Another thing we can do, and we will do, is for our small groups, we're going to continue with the calendar. We'll continue our home groups, our Trim group, our Navan group, our Kiltale group, our men's group, our Thursday morning group for Gospel of John. But what we'll do is we'll do this virtually. And we'll do this through Zoom. I've just signed up to Zoom so that I can send out email invitations for you. And I'll give instructions in my emails. But we will continue meeting on Thursdays at 10:30 for the Gospel of John. But we'll do it virtually. We'll do it online together. It's a great platform. And it will at least allow us all to be on the screen at the same time. We can interact verbally like we normally would around the table. And it's a great platform. If you have not used it before, be encouraged. It's very good and very helpful, and we'll have freedom to chat and discuss and pray together. Let me just remind you to call one another as well. Pick up the phone somebody and just say, how are you doing? Have you any needs? How can I pray for you? And who can you call? 4 simple questions you can ask each other, as I also am asking of you. So let's work hard to persevere, to remain in community and preserve community. It's second best than being in person, but at least there are many things we can do to keep in touch with each other and aware of each other's needs and praying for each other. Just want to remind you again of that verse that I started off with, 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and self-control. So may his power be evident in us, each one of us, as we exercise self-control and as we love one another at this difficult time. So see you soon. I'll send you some updates and see you online in the near future. God bless.